If you're a man who feels like you're disappearing and you don't know why, this is for you. Not the version of you that shows up for work, not the version that answers when people ask how you're doing. It's the version that sits alone at the end of the day and feels like something is seriously wrong, but you really just can't name it and you're not about to tell anyone. I know that man because I was that man. I want to tell you what the last couple of years looked like for me, because I'm just going to ask you, if I'm going to ask you to trust me on this channel, you deserve to know that I'm not talking from a book. I'm talking about my real experiences. I went through months of depression, anger, the feeling of worthlessness, and I just simply couldn't shake it no matter what I did. It affected everything. It affected my family, my relationships, my work, even my ability to get out of bed or even want to do anything, even the stuff that I usually loved. I was physically exhausted in a way that sleep didn't fix. And we're talking about I could sleep 8, 10, 12 hours and would still wake up just completely and utterly exhausted. For a man who prides himself on being capable, on being that guy that people come to when things go sideways, Mr. Fix It, that was humiliating. My work was suffering and everything was going in a downward spiral. And it was humiliating, isolating, and honestly, it was really terrifying. I didn't know what was going on, if I even come back from it. What brought me through wasn't a program. It wasn't a therapist telling me to journal my feelings, although I'm not dismissing that. I just found out it didn't work for me. What's behind this isn't about, selling you a program or selling you a quick fix thing or selling you anything. That's not the idea behind this. What brought me through, honestly, was God and my relationship with God. And I say that as someone who had to wrestle with what that actually meant in the middle of the worst and darkest season of my life. It wasn't just a simple bumper sticker answer. There's a difference between knowing scripture and letting it mean something to you when the floor is completely gone and you've hit rock bottom. I had to learn the difference the hard way. And slowly, not all at once, but I started to come back. I started seeing clearly again, and I started understanding what had been building in me for years and why and what to actually do about it. I'm not fully on the other side. I know there's a lot of work still left to do with me, but I know where I stand right now, and I know why. So here's what this channel is about. Here's what it's going to be. I'm not a therapist, not a theologian, and all I have is a story, a faith that was tested hard and held, and a habit of taking complicated things that don't make sense and just making them make sense. I'm going to talk to men specifically about the things we don't talk about: mental health, identity, purpose, what it actually means to be a man of faith in the world that seems designed to confuse and question. I'm going to bring in the Bible, but not the bumper sticker version. Context really matters, history matters, and when you understand what was actually being said and to who and why, it actually changes everything. This isn't a church service. It's a conversation. I'm not preaching. I'm just talking to you man on man, one man to another. And if that's something you need, then stick around. We're just getting started. Subscribe if this is hitting something inside you, and if this is something that, if you're feeling exactly what I felt. Share it if you know a man who needs it. And if you've been where I've been, I genuinely like to hear from you in the comments. My name's Dave, and I'll see you in the next one.